of history are written by those who claim victory, controlling minds for 2,000 years, kept us in line by stoking our fears. No longer will we hide who we are. We're stronger together by far. We are witches, we shall rise from the earth into the skies. Unite.
Hello, Chrissy. How are you?
Hey, sis, how are you?
Doing good.
I'm doing good.
Just waiting
I'm
for the
doing
storm to hit. If it's going to hit or not, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, my poor garden, it's just, yeah, things are drowning out. So
I heard that the
I
potatoes
appreciate.
are now gone.
Oh, yes, they're gone. They're lost. I mean, they drown. Yeah, they're drowned. No potato soup this winter.
That's right, exactly.
So, yeah, it's everything else is doing okay though. Hope
Good.
everybody else's garden is doing fine. Struggling with mine, but it is what it is.
You can't grow anything here. I have to just say,
I was gonna say, do you guys even have a gardens out there with the heat? Oh gosh,
Can't do anything in the summertime that I know of. Yeah.
We do have a really good show tonight. Another paranormal team. And I am going to go ahead and introduce them. So tonight we are joined by James Salsido and Ricky from AIP, which is Anything is Possible. James is a lifelong Michigan resident, paranormal experiencer, author, and podcaster who launched his show in 2020, exploring all things paranormal, supernatural, and unexplained. He is also legally blind since birth. Ricky is a Mississippi-based podcaster and creator of AIP, Anything is Possible, where he explores conspiracy, paranormal experiences, alternative history, and the unexplained. He also has two other podcasts, TWC, Talking with Conspiracy, and BTP, Beyond the Impossible. A martial artist and jiu-jitsu black belt. He brings curiosity, energy, and an open mind to every conversation. So let's bring these lovely guys on.
Nice. Welcome, James.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Hi, Ricky. Thank you for coming. Welcome.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
Great. Sis, I'll let you get this started.
Absolutely. So I think my first question is at James. I wanted to ask him, you've had paranormal experiences throughout your life. Which early experience shaped you the most, and how did it change the way you see the world now?
Well, it was probably my first experience that I can remember. Even at the time, I knew it was not something that I could easily explain away. So I was born extremely nearsighted. And so basically just like within 5 feet is as far as I could really see anything clearly, even less than that probably.
Wow.
But when I was around 13 or 14, I went to visit one of my cousins. So my aunt and uncle had just moved into a new house with their kids, 2 daughters and a son. And I was close with the son. And he was 3 years younger than me, but we just got along really well. So I used to go over there a lot on weekends, and they had just moved in recently, and they were still unpacking things from a family of 5, getting everything situated in the house. But they had a huge, seemed like a huge basement to us at the time as kids, and there was stuff all over the whole place. But they had made sure to have like pathways on the cement floor going to all the places, the laundry machines and the back where all the utilities were behind the stairway and everything. And the basement had all the lights were controlled by just a string or a little rope.
Mhm.
They had to pull to turn them on or off. And so my first night there, once they got all kind of settled, my cousin decided that we were going to sleep in the basement on this big couch bed that they had down there.
Mhm.
And we were kids, so it was plenty of room. Didn't bother us at all. And we weren't interested in anything paranormal or anomalous or whatever at that time as kids. We weren't really into that. More into like video games and just music and TV, cartoon shows, and all that stuff.
Typical kid stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And so, but we camped out on this couch bed this first night I stayed there. They had some clotheslines strung up near the ceiling for air drying things, and so they had some sheets, bunch of sheets hanging from all the clotheslines, and
Mhm.
my cousin and I only had the light on above us, the bed, and then a light by the stairway going up to the ground floor because the bathroom was on the ground floor.
Mhm.
And we were just talking about all those things I mentioned, kid stuff. And we happened to look into the back area behind the stairwell, which was the darkest part of the basement because it was behind all the lights and everything. And this was after it had gotten dark outside. And we happened to look back there and we could see something above the clothesline back there. And these clotheslines were hung up, I mean, at least a good 5.5 feet, maybe 6 feet in there. I'm not even sure. I'm not the best with measurements because I'm legally blind.
Yeah.
uh, and but good way up there towards the ceiling. And but we could both see. We both saw the same thing, which was odd because of my low vision. But basically, what we saw was just the head of an older woman, uh,
Wow.
white hair, glasses. But the thing is, there were no feet on the floor, and again, the clotheslines were hung up near the ceiling.
Right.
So, and there was nothing for anyone to be standing on under that sheet, And so, and even beyond that, I couldn't figure out how I was seeing this woman's face because at that kind of a distance, any kind of distance, I should have just seen a white blur with a
Right.
slightly darker blur in the middle, flesh colored blur in the middle. But I could see details,
Wow.
and we didn't know what to do. At first, we were thinking about going upstairs and waking up the family and bringing them down there. But we thought if we do that and bring them down, that whatever this is gone. We're going to get in trouble for waking up the family.
Right.
And both of his parents had night jobs, like 3 or 4 nights a week, sometimes 5 nights a week. So you did not want to wake them up when they were home. Um, and so, of course, what do you do in that situation? You can either run or you can just stay there and try to not look in that direction. And, and so we just decided to stay there because where are we going to go?
Right.
And so we were just talking and trying not to look into that back corner. And that's how we saw it. Something else that didn't belong, although at first we didn't think it was anything weird, but we saw a cat.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was a big black cat laying on its stomach, how they do, like where it almost looks like a loaf of bread,
Yeah.
with the head sticking up and everything. And I thought it was kind of weird because I hadn't heard any movement across the floor
Uh-huh.
of anything. And my sense of hearing has always been good. I was born legally blind. I was also born without a sense of smell
Oh, no.
and limited senses of taste and touch. So I've always relied very heavily, on my hearing. And I thought it
Absolutely.
was odd with everything that was, just all kinds of stuff, boxes and just clothes baskets, just everything, just the stuff that you're unpacking when you move in. That basement floor was covered in stuff. So I thought it was kind of weird that this cat had made it to lay down in the middle of all this without making a single sound. And so, but at first we thought, well, maybe it's just a regular cat that had been maybe hanging out in the basement when the family was moving in, or it got in, while they were moving in. And we both love cats, so we thought we'd go and check on it and see if we could figure out where it had been hiding or how it had gotten in. And so we got out of the couch bed, but to do that we had to look away from this cat while still trying not to look into the back where this lady was glaring at us. Like, who are you and what are you doing here? That kind of glare.
Yeah.
And when we turned around to walk over to where we had seen the cat, it was not there anymore.
Oh, wow.
And so, I mean, at that point I was listening. Like, I was intentionally listening for sounds. And so we just got back in the bed, and because we were freaked out. And of course, once we got back in the bed and looked back in that direction again, the cat was in the same place. And it was where it was didn't make sense either, because it would have been like laying in a small wicker basket that had envelopes in it. It couldn't have been laying there.
Right.
And so we just decided to like look at each other and not look anywhere else for the rest of the night. And eventually we fell asleep, and that was the end of that experience. And we had others there, but that was the first one.
Wow.
And to me, it was amazing because I didn't know how to explain it. But now, over the years, researching into all that, I think there was some kind of projection or telepathic communication going on.
I agree. Yeah.
For me to be able to see what I saw.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. That's really incredible.
That is. And that's, that kind of answers another question that we have about your senses. Since you're blind, what other senses do you have? And you said hearing. So that is really incredible to hear a lot of things and to rely on that, because, a lot of things, we all take advantage of our eyes and our smell and everything. So to rely on one senses, it's pretty good. It's a strong sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, it is. And Ricky, I know you have 3 podcasts. You have Anything is Possible. Let me see. I get here. Talking with Conspiracy and Beyond the Possible. So can you explain about your 3 podcasts?
Yeah, I guess really the channel is really the AIP. Anything is Possible. It's turning to that now, and then we got Talking with Conspiracy, and which was supposed to be, when I first started, was supposed to be a little bit of everything, like maybe talk Bigfoot and talk politics and talk this and just the way the world is, it's been leaning more and more political and this and that. And so I decided, I did one show. I was like, look, I'm not talking any politics today. We're going to talk, woo-woo stuff and have fun. And I was, and so I was like, well, I want to do another show. I was like, I want to do a show. And then at the time, our friend James and myself's friend Mike Strange was taking a little break anyway. And I was like, well, I'll just do a Sunday show for the ones who've been missing out, interacting and stuff. So maybe, and then so I reached out to James. I was like, you be interested in doing a paranormal show? And he's like, yeah, I'll be there. So we did our first show and didn't have anything idea what to do, really. We just kind of winged it and swung for the fences. And it was 5.5 hours live stream after with the chat and everybody discussing. And it just turned into, next thing you know, we were 5 hours in. So, I've been reaching out to people, and which Meeting Red came on a while back, and so many others now so far, and I've got a bunch more that's lining up and everything. And it's a lot of work, but it's fun to get to reaching out and talking to people and getting them to come on and adjusting for schedule. I do have like a lunch show too. I'm doing if we're talking paranormal, I'm doing like I call it a haunted hunt lunch hour. If we're doing paranormal, if we're
Oh, I
talking
love that.
other things,
That's
well,
cool.
yeah, when we're talking other things. I'll do my conspiracy talk with Ricky. I could put it under that title, so it kind of keeps the vibe different. That way, if you're coming on and you see them live, you can kind of see what's kind of the idea of what's going on and what we're talking about, which we still could talk about anything. It really, especially on my Wednesday show, talking with conspiracy, it could go anywhere. It really can. It'll swing hard back and forth and to any kind of subject, and which it's what I like. I like, I don't like staying in one box. I don't like being shoehorned in anything. I like all kinds of things. I like Graham Hancock and his theories on things, and and then with UFOs, I like stuff like that, and then with ghosts, and growing up with Ghostbusters and stuff like that when I was a kid, and just I like all kinds of things, so it just kind of throw it out there, and I have fun with it, and
Wow. I can't
Yeah.
imagine being on for about 5 hours. I mean, I know sometimes we overtalk even over an hour and sometimes hour and a half. And it's just like, oh, wow. But, doing a
Yeah.
podcast, different questions come up. You get really comfortable with your guests. I can see that happening because sometimes it's like, oh, an hour is not enough. An hour and a half is not enough, So yeah, that's great though.
Yeah, you get good conversation, we get good people and stuff, and it gets flowing. And next thing you know, you look up, like on Sundays, we do a strict 2-hour show because Mike Strange comes on Sunday nights at right after mine. So we send our chat, like with Rumble, I can teleport the watchers and listeners over there to his show and stuff like that. So, and then just professional courtesy, I guess, because me, if it wasn't for Mike Strange, I wouldn't be doing this really. He's one of the influences I had to help me along. And so try not to step on his toes. And it's in a lot of my people that watch me, watch him. So I was like, man, I don't want to be people choosing. And it's
Yeah.
hard though, because there's only so many hours in the day. And so you're going to record on some time other people having a show, and it is what it is. But Sundays we try to do that. We try to keep it 2 hours. But yeah, I've been part of the live streams. Well, we weren't through the whole time though. We were part of James and I. We came in pieces of it. It was a 17-hour live stream. Here,
wow.
somebody. I think the longest one I've been a part of, and it was pretty close, was probably 6.5 hours.
Wow.
It was that was a long for me. That was probably the longest one, for about 6.5 hours. Being live with a big panel, talking all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I could see with a large panel like that, it would probably go really quickly too. So, time flies when you're having fun, like the old saying,
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is really, really true. So, do you have a guest that is kind of like your bucket list guest that you really like to have on shows?
I have, just a few. Now I'm over here brain farting there. There's a couple I would do. No, you're good. I'm just make sure I don't mess up the name here. I'm gonna look at.
I would say Stephen King. If we're talking dreams here.
Yeah, that one would be a really good one.
If you have him on, we want to be on with you.
Yeah.
I have loads of questions for him.
Exactly.
He had some terrible bad dreams. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Terrible bad dreams. One I like to have on, and I'm trying to work on actually, is Jay Anderson. He's part of the Project Unity. He has a pretty good following and has lots of stuff. He goes over there and like he's been over Egypt, he's been down to South America checking out like ancient sites and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Um, and then Dave Schrader would be another one I would be cool to have on because he's been like, he's one of the OG kind of, records. I used to
Mhm.
watch him for a long time and everything, and it would be pretty cool to have something, like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just thankful for each one guest I get the next week, and it's like, man, this is,
Mhm.
I'm learning stuff each time. I've hear things I've never heard before a lot of times, and it's been fun because it's like I've learned something, and then I know for myself, like if I tell them a story of what something happened to me, or like I know James told them a story that happened to him, and they never heard
Mhm.
of it, but so we can back and forth and keep it spreading like information, and especially on like this field and stuff, and
Yeah.
I think it's important because it's like we were just talking about it just a couple hours ago, but it's like having places to talk about this stuff and making people comfortable. For so long it's just a stigma, like you're crazy, you're gonna put you're gonna put a straight jacket on you, and actually having places where people can tell stories about stuff that's happened to them that is real, to actually really happen to them, and
Right.
not think bad things and stuff. Like because I
No
was telling them on,
judgment.
yeah, no judgment. You don't have to agree. I can tell stories. Things that happened to me, and you might not agree, truly believe it, but you
Mm.
know, it is what it is. Um, but it's good to be able to tell the stories and stuff. And I was telling them on my show just a couple hours ago that I'm going to go to. There's a like a Halloween festival down in Tupelo, Mississippi. I'm working on the dynamics of it, but I'm actually going to go. If I can make everything work, I'm gonna go try to go down there and go live. And so I'm gonna set up a
Oh,
booth,
nice.
and my whole booth is not to sell anything. It's like, hey, here's a mic. Do you want to tell a ghost story? Or tell your story of something that's happened to you. Here's a spot.
That's
Here's
cool.
your platform. I have a decent size. I got 10,000 on Facebook and several others on the other. I was like, here's your platform. You can reach out on and tell your story and see how it goes. I don't know. I've never heard that being done, and maybe I'll be the first. I don't know, but I'm gonna just swing it and see what happens. If I can get to figure out the internet
Yeah.
and the dynamics of it, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
have
that's
to really,
amazing.
yeah, I have to say I really appreciate the big part of what Ricky does off the show is the reaching out and the scheduling of just so many people, because that's something that with my eyes and everything I can't do easily myself. And with my own shows, I just record on one platform and
Mhm.
it's only audio. And so being part of one of his shows really has helped a lot with just getting me connected with other people and learning more and sharing more on multiple platforms instead of just on one that a lot of people don't use. Like for listening to shows overall, Discord is the one I use, and
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's good. And some
Mhm.
people know, but there's a lot of people that don't, and or they don't want to deal with that. So I
Right.
really have. It's been amazing. And it is amazing being part of Beyond the Possible over on Ricky's channel.
Wow. That's great. Says back to you.
Well, I was going to ask James, Michigan has a unique paranormal landscape. And I was going to ask, what is it about Michigan that makes it such a fertile ground for strange experiences?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's actually not so much the ground; it's all the water around it, and that it goes through it, I think that that moving water. I've heard that can create energy that can be used by by really by everyone, but by
The spirit.
consciousness that doesn't have a purely physical form. If they're just made of or attached to energy,
Hmm.
and they want to stay around, then there's plenty of energy for them to tap into with all the water that is just all around. Michigan, and I think that might be one. I mean, it could be. You could probably say that for most states, but especially here where you have the state surrounded almost on almost all sides by these, the Great Lakes, these massive lakes that are. I've heard them compared to like an ocean in and of themselves at times. So, and with all the shipwrecks and everything that have happened, all around different parts of the state. Yeah, just I think that's a big part of it.
It makes sense. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. Well, maybe not necessarily entirely your neck of the woods, but I'm going to be at an event for Shared Paranormal in Michigan. It's the furthest part of Michigan you can go, which is basically Lake Superior.
Oh yeah,
So I'm going to go to. We're doing the Henry Ford Bungalow in a couple weeks, so it'll be really interesting. I can't wait to do the investigation. In my first time ever in Michigan. So looking
yeah, and
forward
it's such a good size. I'm sorry, it's such a good sized state. I mean, you're going up there to the top of it. I'm in the southeastern part of it,
Mhm.
so completely different areas. Like, there's no way you'd have to go quite a bit out of your way to get to me to visit. So,
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. And Ricky, you've got the South, so it's like Mississippi and the South. It has their own flavor of hauntings as well. What kind of Southern paranormal stories differ there from anywhere else?
The South is amazing because we have such great cultures and stuff like that. Especially if you get down, like, you go down Louisiana, and you got the Cajun and the voodoo and everything else down there. It's just its own little world, really, down there. And then, like, for where I'm at, like the tri-state area with Tennessee and Arkansas and Mississippi, and you know, matters which side you're on. Like, you got the Appalachian Mountains on East Tennessee and through the Carolinas and stuff like that. And there's lots of amazing stories. I've covered some on some of my shorts and stuff like that. It's just a rich culture down here, and plus we got the Delta. Like, for Mississippi, we got the Delta, and with
Mm-hmm.
the crossroads where um, maybe somebody sold their soul, for they could play,
Mm-hmm.
play the blues, and so there's so many, and then plus we have like lots of rich Indian heritage and sites. We got burial mounds, the ones who survived.
Wow.
Lots of them that got destroyed, of course, but from down around Batesville all the way up, the Mississippians had mounds and cities all throughout, all the way up, around. And then around Shiloh, there's mounds and stuff. There's a lot of energy. You got the Mississippi River just being constant, just flow of energy, and so it's just a rich culture, and there's all kinds of haunted places and cryptids and anything else down here. That's it's a whole different world. When you get down to the south, really.
Yeah. It's on a bucket list of mine to do. In fact,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think I'm going to Tennessee in April of 2027 for the horror and goth market with Ghosts of Tennessee. They're putting it on, so I may be traveling to Tennessee to see a little bit of that area.
That's cool. It'll be around Nashville,
Lebanon.
Lebanon. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah. Which I've never been at Tennessee. Well, I've been a little bit in Tennessee, but not that long. It was a quick in and out. So I'm interested in seeing it.
Tennessee truly has like 3 sections to it. It really does. There's West Tennessee, where Memphis and all around there, and Jackson and all that, it's pretty flat. Then you just get a little far past Jackson, and then the plateaus and stuff and everything, the hills start popping up and around Nashville, and it gets really hilly, and then of course then you get all the way east with Knoxville and Chattanooga, and you're up in the mountains, and which is amazing up there too. So, but yeah, Nashville's pretty cool. Lebanon and everything. It's a nice little small, nice little town. So I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm hoping to get down there to Tennessee to what was it? Bigfoot camping they have
Yeah.
with Josh and Randy. That's I forgot which part of Tennessee it was now, but that'd be interesting. Hopefully, I won't come across Bigfoot.
Well, one of Ricky's relatives may have come and visited me in a dream once recently.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah, it was really wild because I was not expecting it. So another kind of ghost story here. I uh, I fell asleep. I sleep sometimes, usually at least once a day in the middle of the day for a few hours
Uh-huh.
because my eyes are always bothering me. Basically, there's
Right.
always some level of pain and just strain and all that going on. So I fell asleep one afternoon, and this is either on a Saturday or a Sunday, so not long before one of our shows. And I've had over the years here and there dreams of just random people just hanging out, sitting in chairs on my back patio, which is just basically a concrete slab because I live in an apartment building,
Mm-hmm.
and which was weird to me because I only have one chair out there. I don't spend a lot of time outside because of light sensitivity issues.
Mm-hmm.
But they all brought their own chairs apparently, and so I
That's
had those.
awesome.
Yeah, it was fascinating. And I never recognized anyone. It was just random, seemed like random, and they never, did anything. Never tried to come in or communicate. But this one time, this one guy, very old guy, came up to the door to my sliding glass patio door, and for whatever reason, I felt like it was okay to let him in. And he had just like really faded out clothes. I couldn't even tell you what colors they were, but just looked like old faded clothes. And he handed me a book, and I couldn't read the title of it, but he handed me this book, and he said, "I'm from Ricky's group, and you should read this."
Oh,
And
wow.
I told him I'm sorry I haven't been able to read a physical book in many years because my vision has changed. And he said, "That's okay, just keep it." And then he turned around and walked back outside. Now the thing is, he didn't say that in my accent,
Mm-hmm.
my Michigan accent. He said that in Ricky's accent.
Accent.
What
And
accent?
I was just going to say, Ricky, you
exactly.
don't have an accent, right?
And it was odd because this book, it had a dollar bill, like something like halfway or so in the middle of it, like as a bookmark. And I had never done that before, and I'd never heard of people doing that before until after I had shared this experience on Ricky's show, and he mentioned that he'd done that, and I've talked to a couple other people, and apparently it's a thing that I just never knew about because I'd never done it, and I'd never been close enough to someone else's book, I guess, to notice that. But I had a couple of people say that the book was not so much maybe a book I can find in the library, but it was more of like a symbolic thing
Mm-hmm.
to where the bookmark in there, the dollar bill, it was the part that was before it was what I already kind of knew, and the part that came after it was things I wasn't aware of yet that I would learn. But either way, it was just fascinating because that had never happened before. And I don't have any relatives from that part of the country
Right.
at all. There's no way. I don't even know how my mind could have made that up,
Right.
and it just felt too real. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that one of Ricky's ancestors came and handed me some information that I guess eventually we'll figure out.
I love that. That's pretty cool.
That
Yeah,
is
it
cool.
surprised the
That
heck out of
is
me. Yeah.
wow. Ricky, I do want to ask you, since you're from the South, now,
Mhm.
do you have a favorite location or a location that kind of kept you up all night?
Um, I guess my favorite location right now is just a Shiloh. Um, it had a Civil War battle. They had so many people got killed. It was 27,000 people died in 3 days, and so for me it was because I actually got to meet my mom talking and stuff. So we mom wanted to go to Shiloh. She's like, I want to go to Shiloh. I want to go. I was like, all right, we're gonna go. So I guess as the oldest, I just put my foot down. I was all right, we're gonna go. We're gonna go this day. I don't know. It was just one of the moments. I was like, all right, we're doing this. We're doing this. I just normally I don't do that, with but that day I did it. I was like, all right, we're gonna go this day. We're gonna do it this weekend. Blah blah blah. All right, like okay. Everybody, all right. We'll have a picnic. And we'll do all this stuff. So we went up there and um, so everybody got, we met up there at Shiloh, and my brother and my mom and dad, and we got in my Jeep, and there around Shiloh, there's paths, and you can go around and you see different battle sites and markers, and there's mass graves where they had just dig holes and stuff and to bury. They had so many deaths and stuff. They just had to do some of the mass graves. They actually dug up and actually put them in the cemetery. Some are still filled, as a mass grave, and they so we were riding along, and all of a sudden we heard like a faint like trumpet music floating across. And I'm like, because I had my windows down, radio off. We were just doing like 2 miles an hour. There wasn't no other cars around us, nowhere in sight. You could see, for hundreds of yards. And all of a sudden, this like faint trumpet music or something like that, like, you'd hear come across there. And I'm like, what? I remember thinking in my head, like, what in the hell is that? I was like, well, whatever. It's my imagination. And then I just kept driving. My mom turned and looked at me. He's like, you heard that, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, I heard that. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not crazy today. But here we go. And, we kept driving, and we went along, and we went to all kinds of sites. And like I said, it flows through the whole place. You go back and forth. And then all of a sudden we heard like a cannon fire or a musket fire. And they were shooting the cannon off that day. They were doing that, but it wasn't for another 45 minutes. And you heard, it rattled the whole, counting, cannon went off, that wasn't what we heard. We heard a faint cannon, like a musket fire or a cannon fire. And of course, mom was like, I'm riding along. I heard it. And I'm like, what in the hell was that? And then she turned and looked at me. She's like, you heard that again? You heard that too, didn't you? So yeah, I heard that too, Mom. And I really don't even know. My mom and my brother and my dad was in the back seat. I don't even know if they heard it or not. I really don't. It's one of them things like I never asked. And Mom actually come on my show one time. I had to basically twist her arm to get her to come on the show. Then once she got there, she didn't want to leave. Did she, James?
Yeah. She would have stayed the whole thing if dinner hadn't been ready at the time.
Yeah, dinner had been ready to keep on going. But she but yeah, and she told the same things about that. It was, it was pretty amazing. And because the Civil War battle was there, and then you had there's Indian mounds there. You get the Tennessee River right flowing beside it, so there's lots of a dynamic of energy right there. And so it's really, really powerful place, and just a really sad reminder. You gotta never let that happen again. Where I did a video on it and stuff on my channel, so you can watch. And my biggest thing was like, man, we can't do a brother versus brother again. We can't have that mentality. We need to make sure whatever we do is not to let that happen again. Because this is what happens right here. These mass graves and this cemetery over here that I walked through the cemetery at one part and showed the tombstones and stuff. So it was kind of a reminder of what it could be. But it's a powerful place, and it was pretty amazing. Like I said, I've been to a lot of places and seen a lot of wild things, but having that happen and then have my mom right there just to reaffirm me, and then she found out later on that about then finding out later on about my that other people in the family are sensitive and stuff. My mom, of course, and then like I think her grandma and stuff like that. So it went through generations and stuff of like sensitive people of this stuff. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's what's going on, because it's one of them things like I've always known. Like I got certain like gifts, and I know I believe it's like in gifts of the spirit and stuff like that. And but it's one of them things like, how do you I've always had them questions, before like getting into this and being able to do this stuff was, how would how do you like develop the gifts and make them stronger and make them more understanding, so. But yeah, it was a powerful place and in a whole completely powerful situation there.
We have a comment by David Wells who wanted to ask you if you've been to the museum in Corwick, Mississippi.
Uh, I have not. I drove by it. I meant to go last time I went there, and I think the last time I was in Corinth, it was closed that day, so I have not been to that museum in Corinth that day. I did go to they got a nice antique store there. It's like a old warehouse. It's pretty cool. But I have not been to the museum down there for the Civil War Museum. I heard it was pretty cool and it was nice. But like I said, the day I was there out that way, I think it was a Sunday or something like that, and they were closed.
Have you been to Gettysburg?
The Gettysburg?
Yeah.
No, I have not been. I haven't been that far up northeast. I've been to 25, 26 out of the states so far, and 3 countries, and Hawaii and Guam, and but I haven't been up too much in the northeast. I haven't made up there yet, but it'd be cool to go up to Gettysburg, and stuff. Kind of worried,
Well, it's just
worried too about it too, but I don't want to bring nothing home with me.
it's what you was describing just now. That's how we felt when we went to Gettysburg too, as well.
Yeah, I believe it.
And the sounds and everything. I was just wondering if most battlegrounds were like that. I mean, I imagine that they are. Where you hear the trumpets and shotguns or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
think
imagine
so.
so. I know there's pictures and stuff for, like, I know with Shiloh and stuff. There's lots of pictures where people are taking, and you can see, soldiers pop their head out and and out of the woods and stuff. And so it's, I imagine, such a tragic loss so fast. Everything happening and all that. It leaves up the imprint on that ground and forever be there. I imagine.
Exactly. Yeah. Lives cut short very quickly without any understanding per
Mhm.
se. So yeah.
Sad.
Does Gettysburg have water around it too, by chance, Chrissy? I've never been there. It's a bucket list item.
Maybe creeks, but no.
Oh, okay. I was just kind of curious because like James touched on, that's a very true factor for energy being. Water is a conduit, so it's
Well,
really
It might be creeks there, but that's about it. That's something I.
Yeah, and I do wonder if the water has to be above ground as
right.
well. If we know that throughout time people have done used dowsing to find underwater sources.
Correct. Right.
So I don't know if it necessarily has to be all beneath ground. And I mean, there's it does go. I mean, it goes down and it goes up through everything, through the cycles of nature and weather and all that. So, so yeah, I don't know about anything there in Gettysburg in particular, because I haven't looked into that. But even if there's just stuff under the ground there, it could still.
It's still a conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, I know, like Hot Springs, Arkansas and stuff is super. They say is super haunted, and it's got a lot of underground streams and stuff. That's what it was named for, for the medicinal purposes of the streams and multiple. I know there's one spot I've been to, and it's got 3 different streams coming to converging in one spot, so you can actually drink from 3 different streams. It has supposedly have different things in it. Each one has different elements and vitamins and stuff in it. But yeah, so like I'd imagine, even if they don't have above, if they have, they could have underground streams that part it. But I imagine it was such a place with such, tragic
Yeah.
death. You know, it truly wouldn't matter if it had water or not. It just that,
Yeah.
that the energy is
Right.
imprinted on the area, just um, so strong. You know.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Yeah.
Pretty much, for sure. And James, we was talking about you did some books. Um, bear with me here. I'm trying to bring your books up, and I would give you the name of the books. I would like for you just to do a little summary of what that book
Yeah.
is about. Let me see here. Just hang
I,
on.
well, I could
uh,
go over the ones that are relevant to these things, like I said, if
yeah.
you want, real quick.
Sure.
Because really, there's three of them.
Okay.
It's one.
I
There's
got.
the first one. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got two that I downloaded.
Oh wow,
Um,
thank you.
I think
There
this.
But,
Let me see if I can bring it up.
we go.
Did it come
Yes,
up?
your last
There we go.
book, experiences.
yep, that's
Yeah,
the most recent one.
that's okay. So this book is your most recent ones. So why don't you tell us about this book then?
It's a collection of all my experiences that I can remember up until when I wrote that book, or finished that book and everything. And then there's a bunch of selections from, because I do a podcast called Salsido Paranormal, and a big part of what I do there is find posts online from people that post to like forums like Reddit and things like that about their experiences. And so, like the second, I don't know, or one major part of that book is several of these posts that I found online, and I just edited them for grammar and spelling and privacy concerns. Just no clear names or very specific locations, and I included those as well. And yeah, it covers really almost everything that I've had experiences with as far as ghosts or spirits and anomalous dreams, out of body experiences, um, and possible, at least only one is in there, possible alien abduction experience, possible alien
Oh, wow.
and or UFO sightings, lights that I had telepathic contact with. So it covers basically everything up to a certain point, and then, you know, eventually I'd have to update it to add more, but there's not a ton more to add to it really. But yeah, that's kind of, I wanted to do that because um, one of the earlier books I did was it had some of those experiences in there, but not all of them, and and then it had a few experiences from other people, other writers that I knew at the time, and that was fun. But I wanted to put everything out there all in one book,
Hmm.
and so that's what that Salsido Paranormal Experiences was. I used that because of the title of the podcast to have those two, be connected in a way.
Coincide together. That's really a genius idea.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
I just put that book in my cart.
Yeah.
It sounds very exciting. There's another one here. I don't know. I just got two real fast. I don't know if this one is one you're going to talk about or not. This, let me see here. I do apologize. We have so many people that lives here that has the internet that it's just like crazy.
No
Oh,
problem.
That's all good.
um, I guess it's not going to bring it up. So,
Well, the two that I have that are also nonfiction that came before experiences are, the first one is called "The Darkness Rises: Real Life Accounts of the Supernatural," I believe, and that is the one that I have some of my experiences in there, but not all of them, and then a few from other writer friends that I've known over the years. And then I used to I would try to do like an article once a week or once every so often on Facebook, um, about paranormal topics and places and things, and I combined all those articles into the Darkness Rises book, uh, paranormal articles, and that's the second one in that, and that's where I stopped with that because I did the experiences to go with the podcast. I was originally going to call the podcast "The Darkness Rises." Then I noticed online just how many podcasts have the word darkness in their title.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that's probably not going to work. I better just use something else. And I thought, well, my name is the easiest way to go with this because I don't know what else to do. So anyway, yeah. So the writing, I do a lot more with the podcast now than I do with writing, but that's writing is how I started out originally.
That's great. I love it.
That's exciting. I saw those. I'm like, I really need to. We need to promote his books here too, as well. And
Absolutely.
I will add the links into the YouTube description. I will update it. So if anybody who's interested in James, James books, please jump over there and after the show and get those links as well.
Yeah, and you can find everything, the books and the podcast episodes. I have a website for that, and that is just the name of the podcast. So Salsido Paranormal Experiences. SalsidoParanormal.com. There we go. Get the right thing there. And that's SALSIDO Paranormal.com. And that has the link to the Amazon bookstore there, and as well as all the episodes of the show as well. So might be
And we
easier.
need to get Ricky's too. Ricky, you need to. There's a chat section on the right hand side that you can put, your links in there too, because we want to give those links some love as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Chat, and I will go ahead and put it in the chat as well as put it on the YouTube description too as well.
Yeah. So we can give you guys some love on promoting you guys.
Thank you.
Everybody wants love.
That's right.
I may have to email it to you all like real quick after the show because it's a little bit hard to get things in. I have two different computers here and links from one to
no
the
worries. Not a worry.
Nope.
No, good. There's Ricky's. Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. You just need James' website link.
Yeah.
That's right. Ricky will have it.
That's good. Perfect.
I got it.
Well, we have two. We have the Facebook, James's Facebook, or the Salsido Paranormal, and then we also got the Gmail. That's what I have too. As well.
Yeah, Ricky's gonna find the website for you too.
Yeah, he just put it in the chat too, so that's perfect.
There we go. Thank you, Ricky.
I put it. I got it saved on my notepad here for put it in descriptions every time. Yeah.
Copy and paste.
Absolutely.
So I had a question for both of you guys actually, and was wondering, what's one topic you think the paranormal community needs to approach differently? Ricky, let's start with you.
Probably as a group, maybe I would say, I think in the world too is just is like putting everybody in a box of demons. We talked about this on the show a lot of times. Like everybody wants to put everything in a box,
right?
Orbs, like in a house, or ghosts, or they're outside, they're UFOs, and all this different compartmentalizing these things. And we James and myself, we joke around, and we started doing the E. E is all above. Is a lot of this stuff, like if you talk about it, it's like, it could be E, all the above. It could be all these different variables or answers. It could be, just because it's, if you've seen something, that don't mean it's going to be, it could be a demon, it could be a UFO, it could be a ghost, it could be a poltergeist, it could be all kinds of different things. And, saying it's one thing and just locking in, because, and I think the other thing is definites. A lot of there's some in the paranormal field that just, it's definitely this, and because I'm an expert and I'm a doula, and like we are all guessing and asking questions, and we have good evidence. There's no doubt. Like a lot of people get a lot of great evidence, but there's truly deep down certain things we will never know until we are on the other side, and even then, maybe we won't know.
It's very true.
So it's downplaying somebody else's thought hey, that's their thought. It is what it is, But the ones that are indefinite, like I don't. If I'm listening to somebody like a show or something like that, and somebody's on there and they're like, "Well, it's definitely this or definitely that," I just turn it because it's like nothing in the real world can be. There's very few things in the real world can be like definitely this or definitely that. There's so
Right.
many variables. Then you put into the supernatural and the paranormal uh, element into it. There's no way, there's no way to put in these definites in there. Like I said, like there's lots of great information, there's lots of great experiences people's had, but putting yourself out there and going, hey, this is guaranteed it, like, you know,
Yeah.
what are you trying to, in like a used car salesman, what I'll kind of look at it like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to sell me here? Because, that's not, real world thinking, it don't work that way because there's too many variables and it could be so many things. Um, and it limits the field and limits open possibilities and open thinking of bringing in ideas and stuff. I think.
Well, and the other part too that you brought up as well, Ricky, just to expound on that is that very true. There's not an expert in this particular field or industry per se because it's not a known science yet. So it's definitely I always say, like, even with mediumship, I'm a student and I'm going to continue to learn. And the more I learn, the more I understand that I know nothing.
Yeah, same here.
Absolutely is. Like I've been doing, I mean, and I took this on the other side of like other aspects of my life. Like I've been training in jiu-jitsu and MMA and stuff like that for over 18 years. I've been martial arts since I was 15 and I'm 47 now.
Mm-hmm.
So a long, long time I've been into it. And I still almost so, they throw out like I'm a master or expert. I'm still learning. I'm still to this day still learning. I'm not an expert. I'm very knowledgeable on lots of things, no doubt. I've been doing this a long time, but it was on that side. I seen um, Hickson Gracie. He's part of the Gracie clan, and he's getting his coral belt, which takes after 50 years. You can get you're eligible for your coral belt.
Oh, wow.
And so you got to train for over 50 years to get you and be up for it. And his older brother was going to give it to him, like, of course he earned it, it'd been over 50 years. And then he turned around and said this, he was like, no, I don't want it because there's still things for me to learn. And it reminded me like, okay, this man grew up in it. His father and uncle created this style. He grew up doing it as a child and been doing this for all his life, and he still has things to learn, then I'm just a little child over here in this stuff, and there's still things to learn. And I think that's, we should have that aspect on all things in life.
Right.
Like you said, there's everything that has the same thing. We're not, there's no ending in learning. It's a journey.
Right.
There's no destination. Like, hey, you can get a piece of paper or a diploma if you go to school or something like that, but that don't mean you stop learning.
Right.
That means
Exactly.
you get to that point of that stuff. It's just for like me. I got a piece of paper that says I'm a black belt, and then when I got my first degree, I got another piece of paper. Does that mean I stop? No, it means I'm still learning, and I'm still growing in this stuff. And you do that same things with all aspects of your life, and like in the paranormal and all this, you're still learning. There's new things appear and new possibilities appear all the time, and so.
Absolutely. I totally agree. That makes total sense. What about you, James? What do you think? What topic you think the paranormal community needs to approach differently?
Well, I just want to add before I get to that real quick. That's pretty ironic, Ricky. That did you just say that you have people that want to call you an expert or a master? Because that sounds familiar to me about what some friends of mine try to do to me as well.
You are the paranormal expert of the known universe, James. So
Yeah.
You see what I got?
That's why your name is on the title of the show, because you are the paranormal expert, James.
And just for the record, I have never, and nor will I ever make that claim myself. But I'm very lucky to have friends that do. But so yeah, I just thought that was kind of funny. But no, everything that Ricky and you all were talking about there, I agree with. And as far as that goes, but also I think the alien abduction phenomenon
Mm-hmm.
needs to be there needs to be more focus on that, more serious focus, and more empathetic focus on that. And not just I don't know, just overall, with everything that we've seen over the last several years going on with quote unquote disclosure,
Right.
there's hardly any mention of any of that kind of stuff. And
Right.
even then, it's still what they do mention. It's all through the lens of government and military. But it's important to me because I feel I've had two of these experiences related to that. And I think I mentioned earlier, one of them is in Salsido Paranormal Experiences, that book, but the other only happened a few years ago. But even after it happened, it took me until just this year to share it because of the stigma,
Right.
because of the jokes. It does involve one of the most common jokes that you hear is the whenever people talk about aliens, they talk about the probe
Right.
in the rear end,
Right.
and the experience I had involved pain in that part of my body
Hmm.
and waking up in a place I did not recognize, and almost like the aftermath of the thing that happened. And so to me, that joke, I mean, it's not a joke. It's not funny.
Right.
I mean,
It's not.
obviously, I'm not going to tell people off when they make it, or it's not worth it to do that. But it's just
Right.
not funny. And I think that, and I don't even blame people that do that now on their own, because it's not any one person's fault. This is something that's been pushed by popular culture, media, movies,
Right.
you know, um, just over many years now. And so yeah, I think that's a big thing in terms of a specific thing. I would go with that. Alien abduction experiences, and people, even if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But also, just don't don't put any more pressure or ridicule or um, any don't be mean to anyone that feels like they've had that experience, because if you weren't there, then you don't know that they did not have that experience.
It's very true. Yeah. Don't be dismissive of it. That's very true. Well said.
Yes. Yes, I would love to have more guests for UFOs because I know it's pretty a hot item nowadays,
Right.
and it's something that I've always been interested in. And I live in the country, so we are always seeing something that is unknown in the sky. So I'm always wondering, like, okay, should I say hello, hi there,
Yeah.
or should I
Right.
go inside the house and hide?
Well, if
So.
you ever want to do a show on that topic and go into, because I barely described one, and there's other experience I had, I'd be happy to come back on and cover that with you, my experiences and just the topic in general too sometime.
That would be great, because that's what we would like to do is more UFOs and things like that. So that sounds good.
Yeah, happy to do that sometime. Whenever, let me know, and we'll schedule that, as they say.
Yeah, we mark it in the calendar.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, do you have any more questions,
so
Chris?
Ricky,
Oh, go ahead.
behind behind Ricky has a lot of masks that I'm just like so, like, oh wow, that's a cool mask and that's a cool mask. What is the story of those masks on your wall?
Just turned into um, I just got pictures of where it's just a few. Um, I started off with just a few. I actually had them like around my fireplace and stuff. I had like 4, I think, or something. And I just one day, and then I found the big guy here, and and then it just kind of went from there. I just thought, like, that'd be cool, and like so I had them around my fireplace, and then one day, just how my mind works and squirrel mentality and things, that'd be a cool background, for the podcast. I mean, kind of get peaceful attention and stuff like that. And so like midnight one night, I turned around and rearranged everything in there. Um, and then it's just steadily growing. Then I moved to this location, and this has been idea the whole time. And I'm like, this would be cool. And like had the bamboo background and then the mask on it, which I'm actually gotten. Now, but added a few boomerangs in there, and I got a spear on there, and
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see the boomerangs. Yeah, that's
yeah, I
wild. I
got
love it. It's really cool. I know when I did the podcast with you guys before, I was remarking about that. Oh, there's the spear. Yeah.
yeah, I got a spear, and the boomerangs are kind of cool, and there's other boomerang there, so it's just a unique look, and because I haven't seen anybody else have it, nothing like I have on my wall, and it's always got people attention and stuff like that. So a couple of them possibly haunted. I've had some people tell me they are, so that's always interesting. But it's been fun. I go around because of my training and stuff like that. I have a lot of MMA fighters and stuff like that, so I go around the cities and for fights. So one of my things I like to do is if I go into a new city, or even one I've been to before, really, I usually try to give my guys a moment to like just be by themselves and work through their stuff, before the day of the fight and stuff. Like, all right, I'm gonna give you your space, let you get your mind in your right space, and then I travel around and check out places. And one of the things I go to is antique stores and thrift stores and stuff like that, and check out what they have, and I look for masks and Dr. Pepper stuff and anything else I can, random stuff that kind of catches my attention. But but luckily I've found all these. I even had a guest and listener. He sent me one.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so that was pretty. Mr. Duffy actually sent me a mask on a while back, and which was pretty cool. And luckily I've had really good deal. Like luck, I found like I've had, I haven't paid really over $30 for any of these masks. Like even the big guys and stuff, I haven't paid more than $30, 25, 20. I find pretty good deals and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you have any death
Yeah,
masks?
I saw an orb fly by one of.
Just now.
He has
The
before.
internet's going weird on us.
Yeah.
James has before. He's seen the.
Oh, wow.
He's seen the orb before in the big guy. I don't think I have any. I don't have any death masks. I don't want any death masks. But I have some unique. I guess they would classify. I guess some of them, but some are very ornate.
Yeah, they're pretty creative. I love the fact that, like the designs that they have, the etchings and everything. Wow, look at that. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, I love this camera. It can do some amazing stuff here. Yeah, some of them got these little beads and stuff where it's very little small little details where it took them forever. This one here, oops, wrong direction. I get that. I always do that backwards. Like the chain right there on the top of that mask in the middle.
Yes.
That's actually all one piece of wood. They actually carved it to make it look like a loop of chain, but it's all wood.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then, like I said, like you can see the little bitty dots and little small, like the intricate work they've done. Yeah, some people get freaked out by that one there, but he's kind of.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of scary looking a little bit. Like this one, there's lots of.
Oh wow, yeah. Look at the detail in that. That's incredible.
Yeah, the detail work on it is amazing on some of them.
Yeah, I keep telling Ricky he's going to be surrounded by masks one day. Someday he's going to have the whole room, just all four walls are just going to be. He's just going to be surrounded.
I've got this wall pretty well covered up now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's awesome.
Some are from Ghana, some are from other places, stuff like that. And so, I like that one there. It's kind of got a little heart. It was carved like a heart with a knife in the front, middle of it. So yeah, it's been yeah, I need to put trim work piece on top, but
that is really cool.
Eventually, there's going to be just masks in the ceiling too. After he gets all 4 walls
I
all
was gonna
set up.
say it's just gonna
Anything's possible. Actually, it really is.
it's gonna go left and right to them too.
I really
I
like
love them
to.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just to the point. I was like, man, I want them part of it. So it's like, man, what do I do? If I have them on the side, like nobody will be able to see them. And unless
Right.
I do like that, and because I got my camera like wide as I can right now, and so I kind of have it sitting back for. Like, I know some people like to be closer, the camera, or whatever, show more than face.
Mhm.
But I put the mask on there, and so it's like I want to make sure I get to display all of them each time. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool.
Wow. It has, yeah, it's really great. And you guys have been awesome.
Yes.
Both
Thank you guys.
I mean, with
It's been
your
fun.
mask, the James's books, I mean, your experience. Oh my gosh. It's
It's been
amazing.
fabulous having you guys.
yeah, we
Yeah.
appreciate y'all having us and everything. Like I said, I know James and myself both. We've had James. I think James had more experiences I've had, but I've had my share of them, from UFOs to poltergeist to seeing poltergeist to everything else in between, and it's been a lot of this stuff. Like I said, it's been nice to be able to talk about this stuff, and share some of these stories that I've held on to for so many years, and being able to come out on it, and then get to hear other people tell stories too. It's
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely. That's the cool part about it is that, hearing other people's stories and having that validation and a justification and with no judgment. And it's like-minded people talking amongst each other.
absolutely.
Well, it's been great. And we'll probably have you guys back because we do like to keep our friends close.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But to the audience, everybody jump on over to all the links that I posted. They will be posted in the YouTube description after the channel is way after the podcast is done, and give them a shout out. Say hey, and jump over to Within the Cauldron and subscribe, like, and share out and comment. We love to hear from everybody. And from now, many, many blessings, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
And
And just stay
Jason,
behind.
yeah, stay behind. Okay, thank you, everybody. Blessings.
Good night, everyone.
Night.